Okay, I tried to make this video nice and clean and easy to do, and I typed everything out, but it all disappeared, and I'm not going to do it twice. So here's the idea. You have this rectangle, and it is some measurement, and let's say the measurements are 30 inches by 4 yards. And you want to find the area, and the problem is you want to find the area, and you need to have the same units. So we need to convert either inches into yards or yards into inches, so we have them. We're going to do it both ways. Okay. First thing that we need to know is what is the relationship between inches and yards. Well, 1 yard is actually equal to 36 inches, because there's 3 feet in a yard and 12 inches in each one of those feet. So 3 times 12 gives you 36 inches in every yard. So how do we do the conversion then? And this is something that I've shown my students. If you had me last year, you'll hopefully remember this. Is you take 30 inches, the thing you're converting, and you say, I'm going to multiply it by a creative form of 1, and the creative form of 1 that we're going to multiply it by is going to have the units that we're canceling on the bottom. Since this is on the top, you can imagine that is over 1. Right? So what we want to do is we want the units that we don't want anymore, we want to turn it into yards, so that wants to cancel out. So we want to have inches on the bottom. That's what we're canceling out, that's what we're going from, and we want to turn it into yards. And then you just say, what's the relationship? 1 yard is 36 inches. This is a form of 1, because 1 yard is 36 inches, so we have a fraction where it's the same top and bottom. Okay? So then we just multiply across. Actually, you know what we're going to do first? I'm going to cancel. I'm going to divide each one of these by 6, so I can simplify here. If I do it now, I don't need to simplify the results. And you know what else we can cancel? We can cancel inches and inches. We can cancel those units out. So 5 times 1 is 5, and the yards is the units that's on top. Okay, and on the bottom, 1 times 6, the units are canceled out, so it's just 1 times 6, or 6. So we get 5/6 of a yard is what 30 inches is equal to. Okay, so if we wanted to do the math then in terms of yards, we could say, okay, if we're going to be doing and I'm going to, by the way, write it down on the bottom, we're going to say this is the same as 5/6 yards. So if we wanted to multiply in yards, length times width, we would say 5/6 yards times 4 yards. And 4, remember, is the same as 4 over 1. Right? So we then can cancel, we're allowed to cancel fractions top and bottom. This and this can both be divided by 2. So you get here a 2, here you get a 3. And then when we multiply across, we get 10 over 3. And notice what we have here. Yards times yards is yards squared. That's the units, but maybe we want to convert it into a mixed number. How many times does 3 go into 10? 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, so there's 1 left over to get to 10. 3 1/3 square yards. That's one way we could write our answer in terms of the area of this. What's another way we could do it? We can convert yards into, let's do that. We can convert yards, 4 yards specifically, into inches by saying let's multiply by the conversion that we know. We want to cancel yards, so that's going to be on the bottom. 1 yard is equal to, we're turning it into inches, and what's the relationship? 36 inches is 1 yard. This is like over 1, right? So what cancels? We have yards and yards canceling. And then what about for the numbers? Well, there's nothing to cancel on the bottom because there's just 1 on the bottom. And in fact, since everything cancels out to the bottom and just to the 1, we're going to get some whole number value. And what is that? Let's multiply across, and we get 4 times 36 is 144, and that's inches. So if we wanted to then multiply, and let me write it in over here, 4 yards is the same as 144 inches. And if we wanted to do it in terms of inches, then we could say, all right, well then we have 30 inches times 144 inches. And we can do the little calculation down here. 144 times 30. 0 placeholder for that 0. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And you get 4,320. And here we have inches times inches is inches squared. And that's another way we could write that answer. Okay?